He only said 6 words. "You're just a charity case, girl." Laughter echoed through the cafeteria, but within minutes, that same laughter turned into silence. No one expected what followed. Not the teachers, not the students, not even the boy's powerful father who thought his name could protect him. It started as another ordinary school day, but by the end of it, reputations would crumble, secrets would surface, and one girl's quiet strength would challenge the system itself. Because sometimes the smallest insult exposes the biggest truth. And when the call came from the school board, everything changed. Talia Monroe wasn't the kind of girl people noticed at first. 16, soft-spoken, and always with a book in hand, she moved through the crowded halls of Fairfax Prep like a quiet current, present but rarely seen. Her mother had worked double shifts just to get her into this school, calling it an opportunity worth every sacrifice. To Talia, it was a chance to prove she belonged somewhere that wasn't designed for her. Fairfax Prep was the kind of place where last names carried more weight than report cards. The parking lot gleamed with luxury cars, and the walls were lined with plaques of families who gave back more than they ever received. Talia didn't come from that world, but she carried herself with quiet pride. Straight A student, debate club finalist, scholarship recipient. Every morning she'd sit by the window in the library before classes began, tracing the edge of her notebook while watching the sun spill across the courtyard. It was her calm before the storm of stares and whispers that always followed her. Some students smiled politely. Others didn't bother to hide the judgment, but that morning felt different. The air was thicker, the stairs a little longer. She didn't know it yet, but by lunchtime, one careless comment would ignite something far bigger than high school gossip. Because in a place built on privilege, Talia's presence was more than a reminder of hard work. It was a challenge to the system itself. By midday, the chatter at Fairfax Prep buzzed louder than usual. A new scholarship announcement had gone up on the notice board, and Talia's name was printed right at the top. Bold, unmistakable. For her, it was validation. For others, it was ammunition. When she walked into the cafeteria, the noise dimmed for just a second. That heavy silence before laughter. A group of seniors sat near the window, designer jackets draped over their chairs, trays untouched. Among them was Ethan Clark, the golden boy of Fairfax Prep. His father sat on the school board. His mother chaired every charity gala in town. Talia passed their table, trying to ignore the way their eyes followed her. Then Ethan spoke, loud enough for the room to hear. "Guess the school's running out of charity cases." Laughter erupted, sharp, cruel, the kind that burns its way into memory. Talia froze. For a split second, she thought about walking away, pretending she didn't hear. But the eyes, the whispers, the phone's already out recording. She clenched her fists, forcing her breath steady. A teacher nearby glanced up, then looked back down at his phone. No one said a word. Talia finally turned. Her voice trembled, but her eyes didn't. "Maybe you should focus less on charity and more on your grades." The cafeteria went still. Ethan's smile faltered. For a moment, no one knew who had won. But humiliation doesn't fade quietly. Within hours, the whispers turned to rumors, ones crafted to wound. Her scholarship was pity money. Her grades were bought. Someone even posted a photo of her lunch tray with the caption, "Free meal for a free ride." That night, Talia sat on her bed staring at the ceiling. Her mother's laughter floated in from the kitchen, tired but proud. Talia didn't tell her what happened. She just couldn't. The next morning, her locker was covered in sticky notes. "Charity queen, board's favorite. Does your mom clean our houses too?" Her chest tightened, but she refused to cry. Instead, she peeled each note off carefully. One by one, her hands trembling. Then she saw him, Ethan, standing across the hall, smirking like it was all a joke that belonged to him. But what he didn't know was that someone else had seen it all too. Someone who wasn't laughing, and that someone had more power than Ethan could ever imagine. By Friday morning, the story had spread far beyond the classroom walls. Parents whispered, teachers avoided eye contact, and Ethan Clark walked the halls like nothing had happened. Talia tried to focus on her studies, pretending the stairs didn't follow her every move. But inside, something had cracked. That afternoon, during the school assembly, the principal called Talia's name. Her stomach twisted as she stepped onto the stage, unsure what she'd done wrong. The entire auditorium buzzed with low murmurs. On the front row sat the school board, and in the center, Ethan's father. His expression was calm, but his presence felt like a threat. Then the principal cleared his throat. "It has come to our attention that recent rumors regarding our scholarship program have caused tension among students." Talia's hands shook. She could feel every heartbeat echoing in her ears. She wanted to disappear, but before she could step away, the auditorium doors opened. A woman entered, dressed sharply, purposeful stride, every step commanding attention. It was Mrs. Clark, Ethan's mother, but she wasn't there to protect her son. She carried a folder and fury. "I believe the board should hear this," she said, her voice steady but cold. A video of what really happened. Gasps rippled through the crowd as a screen flickered to life behind the stage. There it was, Ethan's words clear as day. "Guess the school's running out of charity cases." His friends laughed laughter filled the room once more, but this time it didn't echo. It burned. Ethan's face went pale. His father's confidence melted into disbelief. And Talia, she stood frozen, tears blurring her vision, not from shame but from something else. Relief, vindication. The principal stammered, the board whispered, and for the first time, the laughter that once silenced her turned into a weapon of truth. The auditorium lights dimmed as the video ended. A silence heavier than words settled in the room. Then came the phone call that would change everything. The boardroom doors stayed closed for hours after that video played. Students waited in silence. Teachers whispered in corners, and for once, Ethan Clark didn't have anything to say. When the decision finally came, it was swift. Ethan was suspended indefinitely, pending review. His father stepped down from the board the next morning, citing personal reasons. But everyone knew the truth. Power only protects you until it doesn't. For Talia Monroe, the victory felt different. There were no cheers, no celebrations. Just quiet acknowledgement, a nod from a teacher, a message of support from a classmate who'd once looked away. The same people who stayed silent now walked a little differently around her, as if realizing silence had its own kind of guilt. Her mother cried when she found out, not from sadness but pride. "You didn't just stand up for yourself," she whispered, holding her daughter close. "You showed them who you really are." Talia returned to school a week later. The same hallways, the same walls. But something had shifted. The posters for scholarships now read "Merit and Equality" in bold letters. The principal held a new assembly about diversity and respect. It was a start, small, imperfect, but real. And yet, beneath that progress lingered a truth too heavy to ignore. It shouldn't take humiliation for change to begin. Talia knew she couldn't erase what happened, but she could make sure it meant something. She joined the student council, started a support group, and became the very voice that others once denied her. Because sometimes, justice doesn't arrive with applause. It comes quietly, carried by those who refuse to stay silent. This wasn't just about one girl at one school. It was about every voice dismissed, every truth ignored, every system that needed to be reminded of its humanity. So the question isn't whether Talia won. It's whether we've learned enough to make sure the next charity case never has to fight alone.